Hi everyone, welcome to the very first video of backend development series in which we are going to cover everything related to backend development. And in this video, we are going to cover how exactly does the internet work. So let's get into it. Now, how does the internet work? Internet can be defined as a connection of a large number of nodes, and these nodes can be any device which has access to the internet. Now, although there are a lot of technologies involved like the Wi-Fi, routers, switches, etc., but the very backbone of internet is the cables. The entire world is connected through optical fibers which go under the sea and heavy terrain. Now, to communication to happen in this world of internet, you need to know each other's address. Let's say you are at this node. Let's call this node as 1 and let's call this node as 2. Now, let's say you are here and you want to send some kind of message to node 2. For that to happen, you need to know node two's address. Now, this is very similar to how communication in physical world happens. Let's say this is your house and this is your friend's house, and you need to send some kind of parcel to your friend. What will happen is that you need to know your friend's address for this parcel to be sent to his house, right? So, in terms of internet, this address is called IP address. And this is how a typical IP address looks like. Now let's take a look at a very common scenario where you are trying to access some kind of website. So what will happen is you as a user will use your browser and enter some kind of URL there. Let's say this mywebsite.com, and your browser will send a request to the data centers of this website and to access the files related to this website. But what will happen if you don't remember the address? Because your browser needs to know the address, the IP address of this data center, but you as a user will never remember these kind of addresses because they are long and they're like phone numbers of people. You remember the name of the people, but you don't remember their phone number, right? So a better way is to remember the domain name. So this is called the domain name of the website, and domain names are generally catchy and people remember them. And there's always a mapping between domain name and the IP address. So you as a user will type the domain name of this website, and your browser needs to know the address of this website. So how does this resolving works? How does this mapping works? So what happens is your browser first sends a request to the DNS server. Now DNS stands for domain name system. Domain name system. And it's a special server which holds the mapping of these kind. Let's say it holds the mapping of the website and their IP addresses. So what will happen is your browser will first send a request to the DNS, and DNS will send back the IP address. So you basically send the domain name. Your browser will send the domain name, and the browser will ask the domain name server, "Do you know what's the IP address of this domain name?" And if the DNS knows it, it will send back the IP address of this domain name. And once the browser knows the IP address, it will simply send a request to this IP address. And this is how typically what happens when you type a URL in your browser. Your browser, if it already has the IP address in its cache, it will directly send a request. But if it doesn't have anything in its cache, it will first send a request to the DNS server to resolve this domain name, because you as a user will never remember the IP address. So your browser first sends a request to the DNS asking for the IP address of this domain name, and the DNS server will send back the IP address of this domain name, and then your browser can directly send a request to this particular address. And once this request is sent to the data center will look for the request, and it will send an appropriate response. In this case, the home page of the website. Now let's understand what exactly is backend and what is the role of a backend developer. So for that to know, you need to first understand what is client server architecture. Now, client and server are special names given to simple computers, only the roles are different. any computer which basically asks for a resource or basically requests for a resource is called client, and any computer which serves a resource is called server. So let's say a client is asking for a resource. This server will process this request and see for the resources, the appropriate resources. Now these resources can be anything. It can be the database, or it can be audio files or the video files, or maybe simple web pages. Now web pages comprises of HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and this forms a web page. So these are the resources that a server can serve. Now let's take a very simple example of, let's say, Netflix, and maybe the user wants to watch a movie, so he will send a request for a particular movie. Server will process the request, what exactly the movie is and which movie does the user wants to see. It will search for the resources and it will send back the appropriate video. It will retrieve the appropriate video from the resources section and it will then send back to the client. Similarly, let's say the client wants to see its profile information. The client will send a request to the server. The server will see what exactly does the client want. The client or the user wants to see its profile information. So the server will search the database if the database contains the appropriate information for that user. If yes, then the server will retrieve that information from the database and then send back that information to the client. So this is the broader view of how what exactly is client server architecture and how does it work. Now the client server communication we talked about follows a certain kind of rules or protocols, and that protocol is called HTTP protocol, Hyper Text Transfer Protocol. So this is a standard way of communication between client and server, any kind of application. Now there are other ways as well, but this is the most used one for a typical website. Now, one key point to remember is that in HTTP protocol, always the client initiates the communication. Server never initiates the conversation, only the client initiates the conversation. Basically, it will send a request to the server and server will send back a response. Now, there are ways that server can initiate a conversation as well, and basically those are called WebSockets, but we will cover that later in the video. For now, just remember that in HTTP, only the client sends the request first, and the server processes the request and then sends back an appropriate response. So this is the overview of client-server architecture. Now let's take a look at a very quick summary of what we covered in this video. We first talked about what is internet. So internet is basically a connection of a lot of nodes, and these nodes can be any device which has access to the internet. Now, for communication to happen between any two nodes, the nodes need to know the IP addresses of each other. So these IP addresses are very similar to the physical addresses of, let's say, each other's house. Now, you as a user will never remember these kind of IP addresses because they are long. So what users generally remember is called domain names, which are catchy names. Let's say youtube.com or any those kind of websites. But the browsers don't work this way. So browsers need to know the IP addresses. So what happens is when you type a domain name on the browser URL, what happens is that browser first sends a request to the DNS server. DNS server maintains a record or basically a mapping of the domain name and the IP addresses. So DNS server will send back the appropriate IP address. Once the browser knows the IP address of that domain, it will send the request to the appropriate data center having this IP address. And once the request is sent, it will form the basic client server. Basically, it will follow the basic client server architecture. You send a request, server will basically send back a response. So let's say you are visiting some kind of domain name mywebsite.com, it will send back the HTML page or the home page of that website. So this is how the client server architecture works. This is how the browser uh, knows what exactly is the IP address, it sends a request to the DNS server, and DNS maintains the mapping. So this was what we covered in this video. I hope you liked this video. So please like, share, and subscribe to this channel.